Welcome back, drawing buddies. This week we're gonna draw Chibi Absolute Batman, from pencils to colors to inks. So if that sounds like a good way to spend 18 minutes or so, let's draw. Batman, his first appearance was in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939. It's one of the big issues, the big boys. One of those ones I'll never own, unfortunately. And he became the archetype for the street level hero. You know, your Spider-Mans, your Wolverines, your Daredevils, all of those kind of can trace their roots to Batman. You know, you got the tragic origin of his family getting unalived in the alley and the trauma that drives him to be a hero. Of course, Batman also has the luxury of being a billionaire, so he could pretty much do whatever he wants. He could make or buy the gadgets, the cars, you know, the cave, the Batcave, you know. If he was broke, he couldn't do that. And that's where Absolute Batman comes in. Absolute Batman is, you know, what if Bruce Wayne wasn't a billionaire and he was just really resourceful, normal guy with normal jobs and normal money? And it's pretty darn cool. He finds a way to make a Batcave. He finds a way to have a Batmobile, which is a giant dump truck that would be impossible to hide. So that makes it even cooler. And, you know, he has sort of a Batcave. And like I said, I only read up to issue 7. I haven't gotten back to it, unfortunately, because as I do these videos, I gotta watch the media or read the media related to the video. So it doesn't give me time to get back to other things most of the time, unfortunately. Like, I'm going to do a Scud video for Wednesday. Well, actually, for a couple days before this one comes out. And I got to find time to read Scud like in a day, because I haven't reread Scud in years, and I don't remember most of it, unfortunately. But we will get it done. Another cool thing about Absolute Batman and his look, he's just this giant house of a person. I mean, he's unrealistically large. And so I also thought that would make it fun to do a chibi version of him, because this was originally just going to be like a cutesy little cartoon regular Batman, but I'm like, you know what? Absolute Batman's got those ridiculous proportions and stuff, so let's make him the cutesy little chibi guy. I didn't go the Scotty Young route, unfortunately. Scotty Young did it with, he made him big and bulky and kind of doofy looking, which was cool. But, you know, I wanted him to be more swinging through the city looking Batman-y. So I went with this look for the cutesy chibi thing. And drawing the cutesy chibi thing, you think this video would be extremely quick, which it was compared to others. But I decided to put the buildings in the background and everything, and I just freehanded them because with a thing like this, you could get away with that, and you could, you know, blow up the proportions a bit, so it worked out. But he looked just kind of bland floating in a starry night, so I had to draw some buildings, and I really liked the way the big old malproportioned buildings look, because I didn't really think too much about the perspective and whatnot, even though they're really just straight on, so just be a straight on one point. But I didn't worry if the lines are perfectly straight or whatnot. I freehanded the heck out of it, and I think it worked out quite nicely. So yeah, Absolute Batman is Absolute Alfred. Alfred is he's a secret agent from MI6, I think, or whatever the secret agency that I think James Bond's a part of. And he's sent to Gotham to find out what's going on in there, because the Black Mask is running rampant and just causing all kinds of havoc. The Black Mask's gang, they have these gorilla skull masks, and they shoot information in front of the person who's wearing it. And what it does is it tells them, if you commit this type of crime, you get this much money deposited directly into whatever account you have assigned to it. So that means criminals are just running rampant in Gotham City, because they're getting paid instantly to do horrible things to people, sometimes even unaliving. And so Absolute Batman he still has his mother, but he has the trauma of losing his father in a zoo incident which he blames himself for. Like the real Batman, what happened to his parents, it wasn't his fault. He just happened to be there when it happened. But Absolute Batman was there when his father got, you know, unalived, and that trauma because he thinks it's his fault because he's the reason they were at the zoo because he won the contest and everything. Spoiler if you haven't read Absolute Batman, by the way. So he feels the guilt of that trauma. And here, as I see, I just catch the buildings in really quick. Oh, the pencils are done. It's time to ink Absolute Batman. And the inking was fun on this one, too. I think this is actually the longest part of this one because I had to ink all those buildings. But they were fun, so if you're not enjoying your drawings, you should try drawing them another way. Because I saw a thing with Scotty Young, actually. He was talking about how he used to try to copy Chris Pacello and Duncan Raoul and people like that, you know, the more cartoony, fun artists. Humberto Ramos. And he never really jived with the art he was doing back then. If you look at his stuff back then, it was actually really cool. He did like a New Mutants limited series, and he did some covers that were really scratchy, an Iron Man cover and some Spider-Mans, where the people are not small chibis, they're taller and they're better proportion, but they're still out there and cartoony, which is an awesome style in and of itself. But he wasn't happy with that, and he liked his mistakes more than he liked his art. So he started leaning into his mistakes. Oh, I gotta say something here. I screwed up and I didn't record most of the inking of Absolute Batman. So I didn't want to just skip over it either. So I just kind of put this white background over him, and I erased it to make it look like I'm inking him. So I'm sorry about that, but it kind of gives you a jibe of how I inked it, even though I sort of already inked it ahead of time, because sometimes I just forget to put that record button, and then I realize it's not recording, and I'm done inking. It's like, oh, what the heck. I do have to ink the building, so it's just Batman himself I screwed up on. I should, in Clip Studio on the iPad, there's a thing where it'll record everything you draw. If you turn it on, I got to see if I could have that as an always on, because right now I'm just screen capturing from the iPad. And it works, but you have to manually push the record button. And sometimes I forget because I'm a bit absent-minded at times, and I just get into what I'm doing, and I don't think about the little things around me. I just want to draw. So I forget to push the record button if I stop for some reason. So yeah, Scotty Young, he liked his mistakes better than he liked his finished drawings. And they had like a drawing night with some friends or something at some bar or something, which was pretty cool. I wish I had something like that I could do with some friends, but none of them really draw, so not gonna happen. But so he leaned into the mistakes, and the mistakes is what got you the Scotty Young style we all know and love today. When I draw the Chibi guys, they're definitely a lot cleaner than the way Scotty Young does it, but I like them. And since I'm doing shorter videos on Wednesdays, I'm gonna lean into it, although this is gonna be the main video because it's over 15 minutes and I didn't want to speed it up more, so I just kind of went with it, and I'm pretty sure the Scud video is going to come in under 15 minutes. And since my birthday's coming up, Scud's going to be my birthday video. Plus, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to watch a Scud video. I hope they do. I hope that one blows up, and that's the one that makes my channel cool. But how many people really know who Scud the Disposable Assassin is in 2026? I almost said 2025 because I live in the past. I always forget that I'm getting old. But so yeah, here I am inking the buildings. As you can see, I'm not really spending any real time doing the straight lines or whatever. I could have pulled out the line brush and went and made perfectly straight lines and all that stuff, but I didn't want that for this. I wanted this to be free and kind of fit the vibe of the Chibi Batman. And I really like the look of this Chibi Batman, because normally, like if you look at the Daredevil I did last week, his body is, you know, I gave him muscle and I gave him definition. I just made it smaller. But this one, I kind of made him more like a ragdoll, and I really like the ragdoll look. So I think for now on, when I do things like this, I'm going to lean into the ragdoll look. Now, if only I could free my inking up and get that scratchy look. I'm not very good with that, and it's just because I've always done clean inks, and I never just let myself go. Another thing, though, that might help is I got a printer this weekend, or last weekend. I went to Best Buy with a friend, and I said, let's go look at the printers. There's a printer I want to see if they have it in stock here, even though I had no intention of buying it, because I was a little broke, and I was like, maybe I'll get it for myself for my birthday. And we went to look, and the printer, which is normally almost $400, was $220. So I'm like, oh, I got to get that. Even though I really didn't have the $220 to spend, I'm like, I'm not going to see it this cheap again. And if it is this cheap, they're discontinuing it. And the reason I wanted that particular printer was because it prints 13 by 19 inches, and it has a scanner that scans 11 by 17 inches. So I can print out blue lines and stuff. Oh, the inks are done. It is time to color Chibi Absolute Batman. And I did his colors a little different too, but we'll get in that in a minute. But the printer, so it prints 13 by 19, and it has a scanner that's 11 by 17. So I'm going to take some of these drawings when I do the pencils, and I'm going to print them out with blue lines, because that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're doing their pencils digital, and then they're inking in on paper to get that that real drawn look that no matter what I try, I can't get digitally. I mean, I've tried. It just doesn't work. So if I could figure out a way to record that, I'm going to record the inks doing it by hand and then scan it and color it and continue the video the way they normally are. And plus it'll have that free look, and I could mess around with different tools, like I want to use a pen and nib and everything, because I've done a lot of inking with brushes back when I was younger, and obviously I've used rapidograph pens and stuff, but I've never used a nib. So that's something I'm excited to try, and I think that'll actually free up the look of the drawings a lot too. So who knows, it may or may not work. But as for Batman, so his Alfred is an MI6 agent. I think they're introducing his Robin very soon. I think in the next issue, which I might even already have. I don't know if it's out yet, but a friend of mine, he sells comics for a living, and he puts Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman aside for me. So I've been getting those since I got that set at the comic show. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, here's where I do the coloring different. I go into the risograph brushes that I have, and instead of doing hard color lines like I normally do, I kind of fade them in a little with some lines and some gradients. So and I like the way it came out. I might try this on like a more realistic drawing. Not realistic, more regular comic style drawing, because I think it worked really well here, and I was just messing around trying something different. Yeah, so Absolute Robin's coming soon. His Joker's like a multi-thousand-year-old demon. He's not just a Joker. It's crazy. The Bane is like 9 feet tall, and I think he stops him by cutting into his spinal cord with that giant axe. So he cripples the heck out of Bane, but he won't unalive people. He still has the Batman moral code for that. So I guess that's good. Also, I kind of screw up a little bit on the coloring of this one, not just the inking. I guess I didn't push record when I put the stars in the sky. So you don't get to see that either, so I'm sorry. But it's just adding a layer of splattered ink I made years ago. So you're not missing anything there. So I think if I draw little chibi guys like this for my cutesy drawings, but I free up the inking, I think that would be pretty sweet. And I think it'll add an extra dimension to them. And plus I'm a messy inker, so that might actually contribute to the look. I get ink on my hands. Sometimes I get smudges on things. So we'll see how that goes. Another thing I like about Absolute Batman is some of his rogues are his core group of friends, like Killer Croc, Harvey Dent, Edward Nygma. They're all friends of Absolute Batman, childhood friends, and they were there when the thing happened with his father at the zoo and everything, and they were always there to support each other. And that was kind of cool. And it's a neat twist. And I think Killer Croc already became Killer Croc, but that happened after issue 7, so I haven't actually read it yet. I got to look at the DC app. It's got to be past issue 7 now. It's been months since I went back to it. The hardest part about coloring the Chibi Batman wasn't Batman. It was the background, because I didn't want the buildings to be black, because for this particular drawing it didn't work well to have Batman blend into the building. Sometimes that's a cool thing and you plan for it and it's awesome, but this one it didn't really work. He needed to be separated, and then just making things dark without making them too dark. There was a lot of give and take on this one, I actually ended up separating Batman from the background by putting a slight white glow around him, just so he stands up. In a picture like this, I'm not always a fan of doing something like that, but sometimes it's kind of necessary. So this one, it was... I could have not done it, but I feel like when I print this out for prints, the background might darken up too much, and it'll just all blend together. So, and plus I left in how I did it, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you could see it. I also did the cool thing with the glowing windows, and I really like that look. So, yeah, all the things I really like about just drawing things I did in this drawing, and it was a lot of fun. Too bad I don't draw like this all the time. I mean, I guess I could, but I kind of like the regular comic stuff too. I'm going to draw Ghost Rider. I'm excited about that. I was thinking about who I could draw, and I just had a picture of Ghost Rider pop into my head. He won't be on the motorcycle because I don't hate myself that much, but it's going to be kind of like looking up at him and holding his chain, and his head's going to be, you know, the flames and all that good stuff. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And that's probably will be a quick video, unfortunately. So the problem is drawing so much. I'm getting better at drawing these things. I'm getting quicker at drawing these things. So the videos are getting shorter. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I also notice when I do multiple videos a week, they cannibalize each other. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But so I might just do an every other day of shorts instead of mixing them together. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I also do my fun moon with the faded dot thing to give it a little glow. Ever since I discovered that in Clip Studio, and I could use it in Clip Studio without having to go into Photoshop, it makes life a lot easier when it comes to that kind of stuff. Although I notice it works different in different pictures. Or I think it's because I went 600 DPI on this one instead of 300, so the dots blend smoother and they don't start to turn black. I also was looking at the drawings of buildings, and I noticed they put like these darker shapes in it, so the buildings have some kind of dimension in them, and I kind of like that. I should have did it in the yellow too, but it's way too late for that now. But yeah, we're getting to the point. There's where I put the shine behind Batman. And he pops, and it looks cool in this picture, so I don't hate myself for doing it. But this effect will be really cool when I get back to drawing Green Lantern, because I have the glowing green behind them when they're doing Green Lantern stuff. So that'll be pretty awesome. And those will be coming up when the show comes out. Oh, shoot. Absolute Batman Chibi guy is done. So thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. I hope you have a great week. And go out and draw something.